VacMasters! Uncle Eric here. Today's recipe, swordfish roast with charred jalapenos and garlic, and it's all done sous vide. So you want to start this recipe by making a cure, and we're using salt and sugar. Just go ahead and put it in a small bowl and mix it up. Make sure that you mix it well. This brine needs to be beautifully blended to work its magic on the swordfish. Now you want to grab your swordfish. I prefer the loin cut lengthwise, but this one was done opposite, cutting across the bone. So I just cut it up into two big hunks, two big roasts. But here's the key. I love leaving the skin on because I think it's extremely important for texture and flavor, but it's the cure. Make sure that regardless of which swordfish cut you get, you completely coat the fish. Completely coat the roasts in the cure. Make sure you get every side, that it's well blended and that it's well distributed throughout the fish on every corner. This is going to give the fish great texture as well as incomparable flavor. Now, as you've noticed, I've been salting the fish on the butcher paper it came in. This makes cleanup a little bit easier. And then I just like to wrap it up in that paper and put it in a bowl or some sort of plate or sheet pan, and then go ahead and slide that into the refrigerator and let that sit for about an hour to firm up. So now let's char up the garlic and the jalapenos to make our marinade and our sauce. Simply using a dry cast iron skillet or comal, I like to place both of the items on the dry skillet over medium to medium-high heat and to get a nice char on them, turning them occasionally. When it comes time to prep the jalapenos after they've been charred, you're going to go ahead and want them to cool. I like to split them lengthwise, and you can see the steam coming out to let them cool off as much as possible. But I'm just kind of going for it because we're filming. I like to take the tip of a spoon and go ahead and drag out the seeds in the seed pod. But you can see, ow, it's hot. But I went through it anyway. You might, if you'd like, wear gloves during this process because there are natural oils in the seeds and the ribs and the interior of the jalapeno that can cause discomfort if you get them in the eyes or open cuts. But really, it's just cleaning them up. You don't want to get rid of the charred skin. That's what makes it delicious. Then you want to rinse the fish off. So it's been over an hour, and I've just taken those swordfish chunks under cold running water. You want to make sure that you remove all of the cure, and then, of course, dry off the fish. Then we want to make the marinade or the sauce, so go ahead and cut up your charred jalapenos, about the same size as the garlic cloves. Drop those into your blender, and then go ahead and add your herbs. In this case, we're using the rosemary, and we're using cilantro. I'm using all the stems, but if the stems are particularly woody, you can just pull those off, but the really fine ones will be fine. They'll puree up beautifully. Then a little bit of salt. You could add pepper, but you're going to get some heat from the jalapenos, so go lightly. And then extra virgin cold pressed olive oil. Go ahead and glug that bad boy up. Now, this easily could be done in a food processor. We're using a barb blender, or you could use a mortar and pestle. But depending on which machine you have, puree. Get a nice fine puree. Then go ahead and pour it out, and we're going to use about 3/4 of this to flavor and marinate our fish. Then, using the VacMaster bag filler, we put in a bag and we put in the fish. And as I said, we're not using all the marinade. We're just going to spoon a little bit over each roast. And it doesn't look like a lot, but during the vacuum process, it is going to disperse the marinade completely over the fish. And that works beautifully, not to mention sealing it in the bag airtight. We're using the VacMaster 210 here. It's a perfect machine for this application. It's a great size. And just go ahead and pull a standard vacuum. Now we've got the SV1 all up to speed. We've got it set for 130 degrees Fahrenheit, and we're dropping the swordfish roasts in for approximately 90 minutes. And you can see as I'm dropping them in how nice that marinade has dispersed throughout the bag. Finishing up the sauce, just go ahead and take the marinade, add the lemon juice and the lemon zest, stir it up. We've taken our marinade and turned it into a beautiful sauce for our swordfish. Now let's go ahead and just sear it up. Hot skillet, olive oil, drop the fish in. It's beautiful this way. The smells are great. And now slicing it. Look at this swordfish. Look at the color on the outside. Look at the moisture, the juiciness of the flesh. Have you ever seen fish that you could cut like a pork roast, like a beef roast? Look at that. It slices beautifully, beautiful swordfish flavor punctuated by that amazing marinade. So all you have to do is slice it up. It comes out of the circulator. You cut it out of the bag. You sear it in a hot skillet to get that crusty side if you want. And then this beautiful marinade. Keep in mind again, this is the marinade that it cooked in without the lemon juice. So why did I not have the lemon juice when it cooked? You know, silly. When overcooked, it would kill it. It would be too strong. It would be crazy. But you just add it to what you've got left, and you get this perfect, almost chimichurri-like. Have you ever seen something like this? I don't think you have, because I just invented it. Let's see. Oh man. Look at that. The texture is what's amazing. It's just cooked through. There's no center eyeball, if you will, of rare or medium rare. It's just cooked all the way through. But it's swordfish like you've never had it before. This is truly delicious. This is truly unusual. And when you shingle it like this, and you have a large loin at a family gathering, on a banquet, for a restaurant, it's really cool. Swordfish, sous vide, with charred jalapeños and garlic and a little bit of lemon juice. It's delicious.
How was it? Did you love it? Wasn't it amazing? Thank you so mucho for watching. Thank you so much. You are what make it possible. Do you want more? Hit like, hit subscribe on your tablet, on your computer, on your phone. I don't care. I want to see you next time right here at the Fresh Vice channel with me, Eric Villegas. We are cooking. It's all about sous vide. See you next time.